Dynamic DNS. I wish we all had a static IP address. Unfortunately, it's not possible. That's why we are going to talk about a service that is called Dynamic DNS. That's our router that is connected to the internet, and that's our LAN. Okay, so let's say we have a server. Let's say it's a NAS server, yeah, a very popular device. That is your whole PC, and let's say you will have a wireless PC as well. Okay, so we have a wireless PC. Now, this is of course, this router is connected to the internet, and you are here. Okay, what you want to do, you want to connect to your router. Why? Well, maybe you want to SSH to it to change something. Maybe you want to HTTPS to it. Maybe you want to VPN to your network. Okay? And to do all these things, you need an IP address or a hostname. What's the problem? Well, the problem is that in a small office, home office network, this will be a dynamic IP address. What does it mean? Well, here is your ISP, and it will assign an IP address to you. Today, it's 1.1.1.1. Tomorrow might be 86.5.7.1. Yeah, whatever. It's a dynamic IP address. I encourage you go to your router and just go to your router. In most cases, you will see that your router is pre-configured to get an IP address from your ISP. Okay, so your ISP will say, okay, here is your IP address, yeah? And if they change their mind or they want to do that at any time, whenever, they can just say, no, that's not a good IP address, use this one. Or if you reboot this router, it can happen as well. Okay, we don't have a static IP address. So imagine you are here. Okay, let's make it bigger so I can have a nice face. Okay, you're happy, and you take a note of your public IP address. Let's say it's 1.1.1.1. Okay, and you're here now, still very happy. Okay, you're in a meeting, and now you realize, oh, I need one file from my NAS server. That's not a problem. I have my IP address, 1.1.1.1. Okay, and you type it in your browser, and unfortunately it goes somewhere else. And your face changes and say, okay, what, why? Okay, and it's like that. Okay, why? Well, probably your IP address changed, okay, and it's not 1111 anymore. So what we can do, well, there are many solutions for this. The easiest one is, of course, you can go to your ISP and say, my dear ISP, may I ask you to give me a static IP address, please? And unfortunately, sometimes ISPs will say, no. Why? Because you are a home user or you don't have a business broadband package. Okay, and that's what I have. I have a home business package from my ISP, and they will not give me a static IP address. Is it expensive? Of course not. Of course it's not. In a business package, I think it is £5, something like that, a month. Not a lot of money. But for a home user, they say, nah, you can't do it. And to be honest, we don't have enough IPv4 IP addresses, so I can't blame them. Because, you know, most people use that for NAS servers, for online gaming, and things like that. So it makes more sense to say no. We still want to connect to our NAS server, okay? So that's the first solution. You can go and ask your ISP, may I ask for a public IP address? And they say no, okay? So then, of course, you can put a piece of software on your server or on your laptop and connect to a third-party server and connect it from there, yeah? The problem with that is that you have to do that per server, yeah? What I want to discuss with you today is a service that is called dynamic DNS. Okay, a very, very popular solution, especially for home office networks and small networks. What we can achieve is that, imagine that we will have a host name, a domain name, test.mic.net. Okay, let's say it's like that. And what will happen that every time, well, let's say every 5 minutes, this router will update test.mic.net with an IP address. Or to be more specific, it will check, has this IP address changed in the last 5 minutes? Yeah? If it has, then it will say, oh, by the way, test.mic.net is not 1.1.1.1, it is 2.7.5.8. Okay? So it all depends, you know, where you go, and it depends how your DNS provider implemented that feature. I am going to show you no IP. I have been using this service for many, many years, and I will show you what you can do using no IP. Okay, so this is their website. What we want to do, of course, when you scroll down, you will see packages that they offer. So the first that we're going to look at, of course, is free dynamic DNS. I have worked with dynamic DNS for many, many years, and I have seen a lot of companies moving away from this service and just offering paid packages, which is really tricky because you can't test this service and you can't see if it works with your router, and you know, that's really nice that they still keep it. And if you're happy, if you need more features, yeah, just pay. It's not very expensive, especially if you have, let's say, it's not your home network, but it is your company, a small one, but still, even if you're self-employed and you need access to your servers and to your network, without using a third-party server somewhere in the middle of nowhere, you can use this service and see how it works. The first package that NoIP they have is free dynamic DNS. Okay, and it's very, very easy to set it up. So I'll show you what you have to do. So of course, first of all, you have to register with NoIP. So you provide your email address, name, and then of course they will suggest, oh, by the way, we have this enhanced DNS package. Do you want to take it? Or you can just say, no, for now I will use your free package and see how it goes. But take a look, one of the options that you have here is your host name. Okay, that was our mic.net. Yeah, in free, okay, that's not a lot of options. It doesn't really matter if you want to test it. After a while, if you're happy, you can upgrade and have, by the way, they have some really nice domain names. That's not all of them. I have a package from them. Which one do I have? Let me go back. I've got this one. When you look at this list here, it's not very impressive, but still, it's loginto.me. Yeah, looks nice. mic.loginto.me. Yeah, looks good. No IP. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Create an account here. That's the first step. You go for your host name in in a free version, I think you can have up to 3 host names. Let me just check. Yeah, 3 host names, which is more than enough. You go and you register. Okay. The second step, of course, they will ask you, can you confirm your email address and so on. And then what you have to do, you have to set up one of your network devices to update no IP. What does it mean? Well, it means that you decided to go for, let's go for a real name that no IP use, log into me. Okay, so you said Mike 666 dot, what was it? Log into me. Log into me. Okay, that is your host name. Okay, that's fine, but the problem is, again, that this IP address changes. You have to have a network device or a server, something that will go to no IP and will say, oh, my IP address has changed, my IP address has changed, Mike66 is not 1111 anymore. Okay, and thanks to that, this DNS entry will be updated, and when you type it on your PC over here, it will be resolved to the correct IP address that your ISP assigned to you. Okay, hope it makes sense. Right, let me just remove that one. What are our options here? First of all, a lot of routers they support dynamic DNS out of the box. Yes, so there is an option to enable it. So it means that this router will go to no IP and will say, oh, my IP address has changed in the last 5 minutes. Okay, if it's not possible on your router, or you want to do it on a PC or on a server, no IP, they have an application. Show you that. Oops. I think it's in the downloads somewhere. Download. Okay, yeah. So this is this application. Dynamic DNS dynamic update client. You should put this application on a server or on a PC that is 24/7. Yeah, because if you turn off your laptop, then this application will not get a chance to update no IP. Okay, and by the way, a lot of NAS servers will allow you to use no IP, and of course there are some other providers that you can go for. I do not trust my routers, and that is Cisco. Well, it's Cisco ASA. I don't even know if ASA supports a sophisticated feature like that. For many years, a feature like that on a Cisco router was really unreliable. And I remember I decided to go for no IP because they provided a step-by-step instruction how to do that on a Cisco router. Okay, and I remember my 877 was very happy to work with no IP dynamic DNS, and it didn't want to work with the other service. I don't remember what those DNS. Don't remember. They do not offer free services anymore. I have set up a lot of 887 routers, and 9 of them, that was absolutely fine. The same template, the same. Router number 10, it was not working, and it was not related to no IP, because I tested this account using just a Linksys router, and Linksys said, yeah, sure, here is my IP address, and this guy said, nah, I'm not going to do that. I don't know, I didn't check the iOS because I didn't have time, because it is very difficult to test it offline. You have to be connected to the internet. That's not important here, but be careful. Of course, it is okay. It works, but I do not trust Cisco routers in this field. I put no IP client on one of my servers, okay, and this server goes to no IP, and that's it, job's done. If you want to do that on your router, I found a few pictures for you, because it makes no sense for me to connect an old D-Link router and show you that, but you will find an option, something like DNS, dynamic DNS, and in many cases it will arrive pre-configured. Let's take a look. That's Linksys, yes, Cisco, yeah, so again, no IP. This one as well. You can see that. Yeah, no IP. And that is really easy to set up. No IP, your host name, username and password. That's it. Job's done. Okay? It's really awesome. Okay? Very easy to set up, and it does work. I have been using noip.com for many years, and it has been a very reliable service. We can put an update on a router, or we can use a client. Okay? Which one is a better option? Well, people say, well, it's much better to put it on a router because it's a piece of hardware. Well, my server is a piece of hardware as well, so I have it on my server. I'll tell you what I wanted to do. I'm a network engineer. Okay, so I used to work with Microsoft servers. Come on, go away. There we are. Thank you. I used to be a Microsoft engineer for many years, and I like to keep my skills up to date. Yeah, so what I did at home, instead of using just, a pre-configured NAS server, I have a Windows Server 2008. I have a Windows Server 2012. And I have an Exchange server. And one more Windows Server 2008. Okay. I have an SBS 2008. Okay. And the answer, that's really expensive. Yes, I have an MSDN account because it's not a production network. It's just to test and study. If you want to buy all these things, they're really expensive, but Microsoft, they're really nice, and they offer you a trial version. I think it's at least 180 days, more than enough to play with all features. I have all these servers here, okay? So one of the things I wanted to play with was IIS, okay? So I wanted to have a web server, okay? And it is okay to, I can use no IP and forward port 80 to my server. That's okay. But what I wanted to do, I wanted to have a real domain, yeah? Test.com, yeah? I wanted to have a real domain. Again, why? Why would you, why? What's wrong with just a no IP org or whatever? And the answer is that that's not the end of my story. I wanted to use a certificate, okay? And service providers like no IP and all others, they will not give you a certificate for these IP addresses because this is their domain, yeah? So they won't do it. That's my ASA firewall. So I wanted to have a certificate on my ASA, okay? And to do that, to make it happen, you need a domain name, okay? You can't do it with a dynamic DNS domain in most cases. I registered a test domain. Domains are so cheap, so I went for just, I think it was me.uk, something that was like £2 or something crazy. I got a free SSL certificate. Okay, I want to show you this website. The problem with this website is it doesn't look impressive. It's just a lot of people ask, is it something that, it's scam and, it's like something, and it's not. all browsers will, all major browsers will accept a certificate from Start SSL, and they're okay with it, which is awesome. It is not an easy process, so please do not ask me, oh, can you show me how to do that? No, I cannot. It took me about 3 or 4 weeks to put all pieces together, so it is a very, very long process. I had a domain, I had a free certificate, because if you want to have a certificate, you don't need a static IP address. They will just ask for your domain and name and so on. Yeah, so don't really care where it goes. But now the main problem I had was, okay, so I have my domain, but I have a dynamic IP address. So it is not possible to update my test.com with an IP address like that. I have to go and, change DNS every time it happens. So I was not happy to do that. That's not a good idea. So again, no IP. I emailed them and I said, okay guys, that's what I want. And is it possible at all? Do you have anything in your offer? And they said yes. And I think that's what I got, that it was plus managed DNS. And well, at the beginning I couldn't understand one thing. How will they bind my dynamic DNS with this domain name? How will they know that this domain belongs to me? Because I didn't have to transfer this domain to no IP, I just pointed to them. So I asked, okay, so how will you know that this domain belongs to me, not to, I don't know, John or Mike or Stefan and so on, yeah? So how is it possible? It's again with my client, okay? So I have a client running here, yeah? No IP client. And when I opened it, my domain, test.com, was on the list. Yeah, so I could say, okay, update this guy as well. Because when you use a client, it will create a list of all domains that are associated with your account. And you can say, no, I don't want to use this, I don't want to use that, and so on. So my test.com was on the list. I say, awesome, yeah, tick, yeah. And great, it's working. I could play with my IIS server, and thanks to that, because I have my domain, a test domain, I could set up my Exchange server, yeah, and start, sending emails. It's just to test. It's not a production network, but the only way for Exchange to send an email, you have to have a domain. Of course, no IP with free DNS will not allow you to have info at whatever, yeah. So you need a domain. Yeah, thanks to that, I was able to have my own domain with a dynamic IP address. And I know a lot of people, especially when you're at home and you want to play, because when we go to CCNA and CCENT, just everybody, says, oh yeah, make sure that you know OSPF, area, ASBR, ABR, things like that. And that's okay. But what we should bear in mind is that not everybody will work in, in a bank or in a huge company. Okay, maybe you want to create a small network or support small companies. Okay, and you can still use Cisco and apply and use your Cisco skills, because you can put an 887 router and have a very reliable network. But our focus will be around issues like that. Yeah, so okay, how can I make a dynamic DNS work with a domain name? Okay, and that's what I did. Is it expensive? And the answer is not really, not very expensive. I think it is 24.95. It is. You have to pay everything in advance. I wish they gave you an option to pay every month. I know where they're coming from, because it makes more sense to charge you like that. Still, I would prefer to pay $4 a month. Maybe make it more expensive and That's what I do with iDrive, for instance. I pay a little more, but I don't have to pay 150 pounds a year. I pay, I don't know, 25 pounds a month. Yeah, it is much easier for me to do that, but still not a lot of money, especially if you have a small company. That's nothing. Okay, I couldn't leave it like that. I have to show you my NoIP client, and I just realized that it's a really old version. I'm happy with that, and you know, NoIP does not complain about that. But my version is 3.04, and the latest one is 4.02. The client that is running, NoIP update client. Okay, and as you can see, it says next check 4 minutes 40 seconds. Yeah, and when you click on select hosts, it will create a list. It will go and, oh, by the way, there is a really nice domain, Cisco Freak. Awesome.